Oh, coming up this week on Kings of the Rings podcast, we have finally returned from Survivor Series War Games. No, we did not go, but we are here to talk about that epic premium live event live here on this show. Plus, NXT has finally named with an all-star cast of about four to eight different legends the participants of the men's and women's first ever Iron Survivor match. We break down who they are and what might happen in those matches. And literally, that's pretty much it, folks. It's going to be a quick and happy show. Just me and Will tonight on King's Rings Podcast, episode 318, Armistice, exclusively on Wrestle Addict Radio. And it starts right now.
Yeah, honestly, I saw Mandy Rose crossed 400 days. We could probably talk about that, too.
Oh, yeah, she did. Oh, I swear to you, folks, Aaron Judge better sign that goddamn contract.
I know I would. hey, Cashman, give me a call. I'll play right field.
Oh my god! If I ever see your ass in pinstripes in the right field, I'm gonna be in that section just heckling you the entire game.
Dude, I just want roll call to fuck up my last name. Tara! Oh, shit!
What's going on, folks? It is King Ricky Rose here, host of Kings of the Rings podcast. Welcome to another episode 318, so cleverly titled Armistice. It is myself and Will Tarashuk today. No K Murphy because, you know, bad internet, bad weather means no K Murphy. So it's...
Probably think that. Like, how do you survive in this atmosphere without internet in the year of our Lord 2022?
I don't know, but somehow K is doing it. So we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. But first off, Will, how are you? How was your Thanksgiving, Will?
It was great. I didn't miss turkey as much as I thought I would.
Really?
So Jazz's family made like 7 dishes for 5 people.
Perfect.
It was incredible. I had so many leftovers, and I drove up to Massachusetts, and I got to do it all over again. I have a full pie in my fridge, Ricky, so if you want pumpkin pie, you know the place to come. It's excellent. I had a great Thanksgiving. How was yours? Where'd you go? Because your family isn't in New York anymore.
Yeah,
right?
no, I have nobody. My parents are in Georgia. My sister lives in California. So luckily for me, one of my best friends in the whole wide world in my life, that I've known since high school, was in town with her husband and her 2 small children. One's 6 and one's just about a year, because she lives in Geneva now.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah, her husband's Swiss.
How's the convention?
I don't know, but I'll tell you, those chocolates, fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Jazz made these pork ribs.
Mm-hmm.
When I say off the bone, bro, I mean off the bone.
That
sounds
fantastic. So I went there, and like her family is classic Italian, so it's great. So it's very yeah. So it was a lot of wine, and a lot of family style of like just make your own plate. Like they're like everything was just laid out. It was perfect. And then from there, because I went Thanksgiving dinner hopping, which is awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be my new thing, because you get the best of both worlds, because everybody wants to feed you. So from there, I'm very close with my high school football coach, who was also one of my history teachers, and his wife, who was also employed at the school at the time. I've done like career days for his wife, because she works at another high school out on Long Island. And so they invited me over as well. And that was great, because it's great to be able to drink whiskey with your high school football coach / teacher.
Oh, hell yeah.
He was like, yeah, we just renovated our basement. Come here. You want a drink? He's a big Yankee fan, too. So behind the bar is a giant panoramic picture of Yankee Stadium.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We didn't watch any football, though. We watched Harry Potter instead.
Yeah, well, he's originally from Wyoming, and he's a Denver Broncos fan, and she's from Minnesota, and she's a Minnesota Vikings fan. So I was able to watch Minnesota and the Patriots with them.
The Pats blew it, right?
Yeah, the Pats blew it to end my night, and they literally gave me 2 giant Tupperwares of food to go home with.
Good thing I played Miles Sanders this week. God damn it.
So it was a fun time. I think I'm gonna make Thanksgiving like dinner hopping my thing, because that was amazing. Like everybody just wants to feed me. It's great.
Yeah, that sounds like a win-win for all parties. So
Yeah.
you get to leave before the politics starts talking. You get to start a food fight if you want. Like, there's so many things to do.
Exactly. It was great, and like you would actually like my from a because he's a history teacher, but he also knows world history and he's big on government history as well. So you would love to have a conversation with him as well.
Yeah.
He's a for this is all the old politics we'll talk about the show, but he is a I would call him a sensible Republican. Like he's historically the Republican Party, but he knows how to actually talk about the politics and stuff that makes sense to anybody who's even like moves towards a liberal standpoint. Like
Well,
he's very logical.
I know a lot of sensible Republicans because
Yeah.
you know Nash is from Tennessee. In our Discord server, it's literally Nash, his brother, his friends, and then it's me, and then my friends from Long Island and other friend from Hoboken. So
No joke in
they are
Hoboken.
they're obviously people from Tennessee. They're all Republican, but they're all very very rational. Um,
But
and it's some things they have interesting takes on, but yeah, I know a lot of rational Republicans. Obviously, and my friends here, they're all rational Democrats.
yeah, so no, he'd be fun for you to have a conversation with. He might be interested in being on your show because he loves talking about history. Like he'll talk to you about history for fucking he'll talk to your ear off and politics and stuff. Like that's what he loves all of that.
I do love. What's his favorite type of history? What what era?
I actually don't know because he just knows
Just knows all of
yeah.
it. Yeah, like I mean, I'm a big fan of World War II, as with everybody
Of
else.
course.
World War II is such a crazy time in history. That or like ancient Greek,
Yeah.
like Roman Empire kind of
So you want
stuff.
to hear something funny that I learned? Cause his wife, who's fucking fantastic, um, we were talking about Texas for some reason and SMU, the school in Texas, Southern Methodist University, and how apparently George W, not HW,
W.
yeah, how W sometimes lectures at that university because he lives in the Dallas area. Like,
Interesting.
could you imagine like you go into your college lecture hall and Secret Service walks in and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And then it's fucking W's dumbass. Like, hey guys, what's up?
Don't throw shoes at me.
And I told you, I was like, honestly, I would sit in front of a W lecture. That sounds fun as shit.
Yeah, yeah, I would too. I just go to laugh.
Yeah. Apparently,
What do you remember Dave? I know you weren't there, but when Dave graduated Hofstra, his commencement speech was
we
the
both
guy.
weren't there. We were on our way to Money in the Bank.
No, I was there. I was there for his graduation. I
We
left
left after to
afterwards.
go to Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I did see him walk. The commencement speech was the founder of Skynet, the actor.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't the Schumer didn't show up this time, right?
No,
Okay.
Schumer doesn't always do them. I forget who did mine, but I remember it was the black guy who started Skynet. 'Cause he's also like a philanthropist and like a
Yeah, that guy.
I think a civil rights guy or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what he talked about. I just remember he was there. So I was like, hey, it's a guy from Skynet.
Also, last thing I told politics. Fun fact: apparently, Laura Bush turned Democrat, which I find
Interesting.
hysterical.
Which one's Laura Bush?
W's wife.
W's wife.
I think it's
Damn,
W's wife.
Barb was
Barb
HW's
was
wife.
HW. Laura's W's wife.
Laura's W's wife.
Yeah. I was like, that's
Right,
that's
cool.
that's hysterical.
You and Liz Cheney can have a great Thanksgiving.
Oh man, but anyway, let's talk about things going on. So over Thanksgiving weekend, we obviously had the first ever, not the first, I don't think it was the first ever on Saturday, but we had a Saturday Survivor Series for War Games. If you watched the press conference, which I hope you did at some point, Will, if you found it on their YouTube page at all, it was
No, I got the gist of it though.
most watched Survivor Series, highest ticket, highest grossing Survivor Series of all time. They shattered a bunch of fucking records, and that's the power of putting your shows on fucking Saturday. And from what everybody has said and from what I saw, it's a great freaking show. Survivor Series War Games is a fantastic show. Great concept. All the stories kind of played out in every match, except for maybe the one in the middle. You know which one I'm talking about. Went over really,
Yep.
really well.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
We will talk about that one probably last up on our list. But let's talk about the cinematic performance that was the men's Survivor Series War Games match between the Brawling Brutes and now the Bloodline, the official bloodline, I guess, which Now, but I guess Sami Zayn is an official member. He's no longer an honorary Uce. I think he's a true Uce now. Will.
I mean, he always was an Oos. He was the honor. I got know he was an honorary Oos. Yeah. You see that Bobby Fish tweeted like imitation sincerest form of flattery with all the Undisputed Era wearing red.
Oh yeah, because they were the only team that actually like wore something together, which I thought more people were going to, but it was just them.
I was like, shut up, guys. They did it better.
Did you?
No, I mean this was phenomenal.
Did you notice that Sami Zayn's pants said honorary?
Yes. Yeah. It was great. I mean, so I watched this Sunday night. I got home Sunday night. I probably started watching it on 10, 11 o'clock. And I was going to watch half of it in the next day. And it was like 1:30 in the morning. The main event comes on. And I just go, yeah, I'm going to finish it. Let's just watch it. Let's go all the way. It was a great card. I enjoyed it. This match was phenomenal. The storytelling was great. Roman directing traffic in the cage. Like, Solo Sikoa reminded me of Umaga so much. His Umaga screams.
He is a mixture of Umaga and Rikishi. The perfect mixture.
Yeah. And Taz.
Oh, well, okay. All right, I see that.
He's got the body of Taz, the hair of Rikishi, and the moveset of Umaga. And the body of Umaga.
Yeah. I feel like he has Rikishi's lower side, but it also looks like Umaga as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and Corey Graves made a reference to that, too.
Did he?
He's reminding me of a Samoan bulldozer. That was Umaga.
God, Corey Graves has gotten so much better now that Vince isn't there.
Yeah, I mean, so is Michael Cole. You know, Michael Cole.
We're gonna talk about Michael.
Mentioning Dusty Rhodes, like the Stinger Squad, whatever the thing was, like the teams, the first ones, which like Michael Cole dropping these references makes wrestling so much better.
It makes it legitimate.
And even though I knew Sami Zayn, I knew what happened because I saw a spoiler I was really upset about.
Yeah.
Like watching the show, I was like, I really had no idea what was going to happen.
But you know what it was? Especially for me, it was that they set it up the entire show.
Yes.
Like it almost felt like it's almost something that they do on TV a lot of the time, where it's like a segment here sets up the main event, and then another segment brings another facet to it. But they did it throughout Survivor Series, which it started on SmackDown with Jay finding out that Sammy was talking to Kevin, and then Jay snitching on Sammy, and then going to Roman, and Roman interrogating Sammy, and then all the stuff, the hug and
the look in the camera saying like, I'm gonna fuck this guy up.
Yes, I was like, oh,
like if I was watching it live, I would have been like, they're gonna just destroy Sammy.
That was actually my thought as well. I was like, he's going to get mauled on a premium live event.
Yeah. I mean, there was still never a doubt in my mind that Roman would lose, or the Bloodline would lose. But in this fashion, I didn't think Sammy was going to be the main, because Roman wasn't the main character. It was Sammy. Like the story of this match was Sami Zayn and Jey Uso featuring Roman Reigns. Roman, if you notice, Roman didn't do much in the actual match. He actually got a beating.
Yeah, Roman was the coach. He's the coach. He's put everybody in their places.
Yeah.
Which was perfectly fine. And then the finish of all finishes, KO is about to beat Roman, and Sammy grabs the ref's hand. And if you look at this photo here on our stream, just that tells the story of the entire match. Right there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. Great camera work.
Yeah. Great camera. Because that's from an outside camera. I was at the guy in the middle. What's me and Charles were talking about. How much does that guy in the middle get paid? Because he literally can't move. He has to go from one side to the other side.
Yeah. That's a good question. How much do cameramen get paid to camera and crew?
But also, like, who's that one guy that has to sacrifice himself and be in the middle of all of that?
Yeah. Probably the best cameraman.
I would assume so.
Whoever's like lead camera guy, like leader of the ring crew or whatever.
Yeah. But this right here, KO's probably getting this one up on Roman, and Sammy stops him. They did so much. Like, if you think about this, you have 3 or 4 of the best storytellers that WWE has that have proven themselves to be the best storytellers in the last 2 or so years and beyond that. Sammy and Kevin, who can tell a story half asleep on Xanax. You know, they can do that. And then you have Roman and Jay, who have been proven to continually create different chapter after different chapter after different chapter of this epic bloodline storyline, which is all managed by Paul Heyman, one of the greatest storytellers and managers and bookers and promoters and just do all everything that the business has ever seen. This match couldn't fail.
Yeah, it's great.
It couldn't fail at all.
And the Brawling Brutes looked good too. You know,
Oh no, they
Butch,
did. They did. Butch is the
looked
man.
great.
Butch
Ridge
looked like
Ridge looked great.
Yeah, Ridge looked great. Butch looked great. Drew was being Drew. I love how they all did the 10 beats of the
Drew's being
Bowery
Drew.
together.
Yeah, that was really fun. That was a fun spot. Drew wasn't his overness. His pops aren't what they used to be.
No, Sheamus got the pop.
Sheamus got a good pop. Also, I love their 4D animation, like the 3D animation, but like the neon sign with the Sheamus face and the hat. I was like, I want that for my bedroom.
It's just fight night, yeah.
Yeah, it looked incredible.
Yeah, I wish they would have done the Moving Up the Boston song as like a special.
Ship of the Boston.
Ship of the Boston.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
And they all came out and killed something's totally ridiculous. That would have popped the crowd so much. Although I do love Ozzy Osbourne kicking off Survivor Series.
It's weird. It's apparently I forget who I heard this from, but Triple H wanted him to perform.
Yeah, no, that's
live.
legit. So Triple H revealed it on the press conference. So somebody asked Triple H, like, "Oh, hey, it was pretty cool you had Ozzy Osbourne. Like, how did you guys get that together?" And Triple H's like, "Well, I called him."
WWE Hall of Famer. He's a member. We have numbers. We text.
And the only reason it didn't work out is because he had a scheduling conflict, or else Ozzy Osbourne would have performed that live in Boston. You know how nuts that would have been?
I love the horn when they lower the cage.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about this was great. And I like how Triple H also, speaking of the press conference, said, is this going to be a yearly thing? He's like, we'll see. Which means, yeah, it will be.
Yeah, because he talked about...
I mean, I'd be cool if it was every other year.
He talked the logic of it. He goes, sometimes we can take it.
He
goes, sometimes we can take it away. Sometimes we'll bring it back. You know, it depends on what we're feeling. Essentially, is what he said.
If the story calls for it.
Yeah, that's what he said.
If the story calls for it.
Because he referenced Hell in a Cell. He referenced the same argument you've had about Hell in a Cell for years.
Yeah, yeah.
He goes,
I'm not the only one. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's a very common argument. Also, did you see the numbers? I'm very interested to see Q4 earnings for WWE.
It hasn't come out.
Triple H took
it hasn't
over.
come out yet, obviously.
Well, yeah, it's not over. It's the Q4 isn't over yet.
It'll come out in January.
It'll come out in January, maybe early February. It'll come out.
Yeah.
But pay-per-views have been sold out. Raws and SmackDowns have been 89% full for TV tapings.
Yes.
And their gates have been highest, and their views on Peacock have been highest.
Yeah.
Triple H has been excellent for business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the pay-per-view shows he's four pay-per-views since SummerSlam. If you want to count SummerSlam,
I don't think you count SummerSlam because that's still had a Vince vibe to it.
Okay, so 3 pay-per-views, 2 or 3 pay-per-views.
Yeah, no, it's three. You had Clash, Crown,
Rules, Crown, and Survivor Series.
Yeah.
4 for 4. It's 4 for 4.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's actually, I would say the first real one, besides Crown Jewel, was Extreme Rules, because when you look at Survivor Series as a whole, this followed the, and I wish I was in that press conference, I would have asked them, you seem to have a trend here, Triple H, of having minimal matches, but the match lengths are longer. Is that something you're going to continue to do? Outside of bigger events like, WrestleMania, maybe even the Rumble, if that. But even the Rumble, I can see still having the same format of we're not going to have that many other matches. We're going to have the marquee matches, which you paid your fucking expensive ass ticket for, and we're going to give you all of that. But we're also going to have these other matches as well. It's a very original takeover format.
Prime example: Dexter Lumis and The Miz was a Raw feud, and it ended on Raw this past week.
Absolutely,
it got a very good video package, and honestly, co-main event, it elevated Raw.
Yeah,
it didn't need to be on. It didn't need to be devalued on Survivor Series.
Correct,
but it elevated Raw. It's just perspective, perspective, and perception is reality.
Yeah,
and being in that position on Raw in a Raw feud, it made it have more
meaning.
Yeah, gravitas.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think Triple H gets the idea of your biggest feuds and your biggest stories, your things that are selling tickets, that are garnering a lot of attention on social media consistently, will make it to your premium live event / pay-per-views.
As it should be.
Everything else can remain on TV.
Yeah, not everyone needs a participation trophy on pay-per-views.
And I think he's like, you have to be, your story, your feud, your whatever has to be kind of hitting all the metrics to gain, that spot, one of those 5 or 6 spots on the premium live event now.
Yeah, and why was Sammy the storyline of this card in the show?
He's destroyed it. Yeah, he's been killing it.
Because he earned it, dude. He's incredible.
Yeah,
he's. I mean, think about where he was at WrestleMania with Johnny Knoxville to where he is now.
Even the Johnny Knoxville spot was great. I loved that story.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal match. It was a good story, and he made it work.
Yeah,
this guy, it really is a testament to Sami Zayn for how fucking talented he is.
He's one of those people, which I talked about last week. Is like he just knows when to tweak his character.
And did you watch him on Broken Skull Sessions?
No, I did not.
Watch him because he's very humble as well.
No, he is. I've heard him on the New Day podcast. He's very humble. He just loves the sport.
Yeah, and the episode was recorded like right when he started with Roman, so he's like, "I hope it can go somewhere." he's like, "As for now, I'm having fun. I just kind of hope I'm hoping it can go somewhere." And it did.
So I want to read to you this quote that actually just came up today, and it says,
Is that Mr. Fretz? The Mr. Fretz?
The Mr. Fretz is here, actually, yes.
What's up, buddy? How are you? Love you.
So the quote says, Sammy is a vital part of the whole thing, and he's never been a bigger star. How can you not enjoy this? It's great storytelling. Who did that quote come from?
It's great story. Ooh. I don't know. Who did that come from?
It's the ultimate honor any wrestler can get in the modern era. It came from The Undertaker.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And honestly, like this isn't a match you would see in AEW.
No.
You wouldn't see it. And on the flip side, we're gonna pivot over to eventually to Finn Balor and AJ.
Oh yeah.
People called that match boring because they were expecting an AEW match.
It's a New Japan match in disguise. If anybody, if you actually really looked at it, yeah.
I mean, we'll get there when we get there, but
yeah.
That's a great point. I mean, that match fucking rocked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it is pretty crazy. And this picture here should be autographed by every member of the Bloodline.
Yeah, it's a great picture. Honestly, dude, I'm becoming more and more of a fan of Solo Sikoa, and I totally believe Jey Uso could have a singles run.
He is, yeah. He's main event Jey Uso. He proved it again last night.
Yeah, yeah. Him and KO had a great match.
Yeah, yeah. It was one of those things. It was like when the pandemic was really in full effect, and they were still doing like the Thunderdome, which I kind of miss. I just love that tech from the Thunderdome.
Yeah, it was just so cool. And Apollo Crews had a title.
Yeah. Which I miss Nigerian Apollo Crews. I was really a fan of him. I just love the accent and everything and his whole thing. Like it for me, it worked. But Jay really proved himself in the last couple of years as a solo star because Jimmy had he's fucked up his ankle or something. And he couldn't go, and so it was literally just Jay. Yeah.
Jimmy had a DUI and an ankle.
Yeah, yeah. No, Solo was the right move.
Solo doesn't do much. He doesn't even wrestle that much. He's probably wrestling on the house shows.
He's a heavy,
which is he's kind of a heavy. Like everyone's bigger than him. Like he's the enforcer, but he's the smallest one there.
I mean, Nikki Cross.
He's a meatball.
Yeah, Nikki Cross was the enforcer for Sanity.
Yeah, but that's funny.
And I'll put this out there too, and because I tweeted it out there as well. Sami Zayn is to the Bloodline what Owen Hart should have been to the Nation of Domination.
Wow, that's good because they're both Canadian.
Yes,
that's good. Yeah. That's good.
But that's exactly
Owen was kind of like, what is he doing in the Nation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I also kind of forget he was in the Nation.
Everybody forgets he was in the Nation. It was one of those random runs where it should have been bigger than what it was because you had a lot of great people in there, but it just didn't go off the way it should have.
But where does this go from here though? Because KO said it on Raw too. He's just like, listen, Sammy, you may be part of the Bloodline, but you're not blood.
Well, yeah, no, he's planting the seeds because I feel like eventually they are going to turn on Sammy.
They have
Yeah,
to.
it's going to happen. Like I think, like look at this photo here. Roman and Jay are still eyeballing Sammy right now. Like,
Yeah, it's gonna be like, why are you a bigger star than us?
yeah. Eventually, I think Sam's going to get too over. He's going to get too confident, and then he's going to get destroyed, which will then make him the biggest babyface in the fucking business.
Yeah, he's gonna get put in his place.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. He's going to be the biggest babyface in the fucking business if he isn't already. Like, and he's just going to get beat down. But I love where it's going right now. I love the over enthusiastic hug between him and the Usos. I love that now Jay does the handshake with Sin.
Oh yeah, I love the handshake. I love their handshake. Like Sammy getting all hyped up doing the handshake and hugging Jimmy or Jay. It's just like, dude, I want to learn that handshake.
Yeah.
Ricky, we can do that.
We probably yeah, no, it's great. I think Sammy and Kevin do have something down the road for them. I don't know what it is yet, but for right now, this is good that they are staying away from each other, and that seems to be what the story is right now.
Yeah.
Which is great, and I do love the callback that Sammy did when he kicked KO and he held him in his arms.
Yeah, that's what KO did. Yeah.
Yeah, and he held
In the sacrifice, because they didn't touch that whole match
until the end.
Sammy,
Yeah,
until Sammy kicked him in the dick.
until the end. And that's good storytelling. That's really good storytelling. And I'm proud of this. This is the Bloodline storyline has in the past 2 years has exceeded all of my expectations. This might be the greatest told story of easily the past 5 or so years.
Yeah, in recent memory at least.
Yeah.
Also very interesting because the women's match had all the high spots.
Because it needed to, this one needed to tell a story.
Yeah, this one didn't need the high spots. You know, they had the table spot. They had a few other spots. The beats of the Bowen was really cool.
This one needed to tell a story, and it told the best story of the night.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's move over to the women, and I love this shot here because also I love the more we see Nikki Cross, the crazier she gets.
I love the shorter, what's her name's pants get, Rhea Ripley.
Oh yeah, she was my new favorite word. She was double cheeked up.
That fucking cake, bro. Good lord.
Now you see why Dominic sticks around.
No kidding. You see them beat up Rey Mysterio at Thanksgiving.
That was beautiful.
Which I thought was so funny.
That was beautiful.
It's so funny.
I also find it very interesting, and it's also very giving of Rey Mysterio himself. If we're all going to be honest with ourselves, time catches up to everybody. Rey Mysterio doesn't have that much time left in the ring as
Correct.
a primetime performer, and he is willingly sacrificing his time, his TV time, and his effort to get his son over.
Cheeky. Yeah, of course. It's his fucking kid.
Yeah, no,
Duh,
but that's. I mean, I want to highlight that for Ray. Like Ray could hog the spotlight and be like, "This is my final run," blah 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 blah. But he's doing the job for his son, and he's making sure his son is over, even though everybody wants to beat the shit out of his son, which is perfect.
Which is why it works.
Which is why it works.
Yeah, but back to this match, they had 3 jumps from the top of the cage. You got the Nikki Cross here,
the crossbody,
you got the EO, of course,
EO jumping,
the crossbody, which was great because it looked like she kind of face planted a little bit. It looks like it hurt a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And you got the finish with Becky.
Yeah, the leg drop. That's a funny story.
The reason they did this is per Andrew Zarian and Matt Mintz. You know it's credible. The reason they had all these high spots was 1, because the match needed, but 2, they don't have any highlight reels.
What do you mean?
From War Games. Like, if you notice, they didn't have any video packages, and like I guess they didn't want to use NXTs, probably because it was on a smaller stage, I guess.
Oh well, yeah, because what was it? The EO spot was when they were at the PC at the
No, they're in Chicago.
No. I'm talking about the EO trash can.
Oh,
trash can spot. They were in the Capitol Wrestling Center.
Right. So the production team wanted main roster highlight video
So when
reels
they
and
come back and
B-roll.
do it again next year, they'll have more shit.
Exactly. So they have video packages because there was no. You notice in the build-up there was no video packages for War Games like at all.
I didn't really pay attention to it, probably because I'd seen the matches, so I knew what it was.
Yeah, you know what it was,
Yeah.
because they didn't want to use WCW because it was from
WCW.
the 90s.
Yeah.
And it was WCW. Ric Flair's head bleeding, cool. A 48-year-old Ric Flair's head bleeding, great.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
That's also a good point, Mr. Fretz. NXT's participants are in their matches or in AEW.
Well,
So,
actually, not really. A lot of their participants, Dakota has been in all of them. Io, Mia flirted with AEW for a hot second, but who besides Ember Moon, who's in AEW, who else was in a women's War Games match?
I'm just saying any War Games period, the entire Undisputed Era.
Oh well, yeah, okay, yeah.
Right, I'm saying it for men, and they didn't have videos for men or women.
True.
So
yeah,
but yeah, this match was fun. This match was fun.
It was fun. It was hard hitting.
A little sloppy. A few botches here and there by Io, which is rare.
Yeah, I found that weird, but she fucked up the handstand. But then again, Io always kind of looks like she's half drunk. So I was like, Io, are you drunk right now?
Yeah, it's like, Io, you're usually so smooth.
Yeah.
But a few throws into the cage, like Bianca's finish with Bayley in the cage was a little like, what?
Yeah, I do love the fact
whatever.
I do like the fact that every time Dakota Kai gets in the ring, everybody tries to kill her.
Yeah, did you see that picture of her like wrapped up in the cage, like her knees
Her
touching
knees
her nose?
are touching her nose, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that looks like it hurts.
I feel like Dakota Kai is very flexible, so she gets away with it. But every time she takes a big fall, it looks devastating. Very, very devastating. I'm surprised that Bliss did not turn in this match, but the turn's coming.
Yeah, I mean, you can hold it off, right? I mean, the story here was Bianca and Becky and Bayley.
Yeah, and it evolved.
Everyone else is just there.
Bliss also impressed me in the ring in War Games. This is the first one. She had a lot of good spots, and she used her athleticism to her advantage, which was great. She looked like she wanted to be there. I loved the tease of Asuka and Io. They had a one-on-one for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, yeah, that's going to happen soon. That's what I really want. I want Asuka and Io just to go at it.
Yeah.
For a feud. Bianca, feats of strength. Nikki Cross being crazy. Also, can we talk about Rhea Ripley getting bored and doing pull-ups inside of...
In the cage? I was like, what are you doing, Rhea? She's like, Nikki's on top. All right, let's do this.
More space for me. All right. She's one of those people who would just be in the middle of New York City and just go up on the crosswalks and just do pull-ups for no reason. I loved it. I loved everything about this match. Great way to kick off a show. A lot of kendo sticks.
Well, women should really only swing kendo sticks because the chairs are too heavy.
I don't see why. I loved Mia Yim did a good job in her first War Games match officially.
Yeah, everyone looked good.
Yeah.
Everyone looked good.
And you know what it is? Everybody's getting a little bit more of their character. Kind of know what Mia Yim's character is. You sure as hell know what Nikki Cross's character is.
I don't like the Michin, whatever it is.
Oh, Michin. Well, it's Michin, Mia Yim, so it's like Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't roll the tongue. Personally, I don't know what it is. I don't like it. There's no reason I don't like it. I just don't like it.
I know there was some confusion, I think, last week that they wanted to switch her to Michin, officially just Michin.
No, you gotta call Mia Yim.
Yeah, now it's Michin, Mia Yim.
I get it. It means crazy in Korean, which fits because that's a good character for her.
Yeah.
But this sound. It's a weird sounding word for me.
You know what it needs to be like. She needs to have a different gear when she becomes Michin.
Oh, that could work.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a demon Finn Balor, sure.
Kind of, or we're just she's going Michin now, or instead of going crazy, she's going Michin. Where you it's kind of there's Alicia Fox and then there's crazy Alicia Fox.
Right.
You know, there's got to be kind of a different gear when she kind of just loses her fucking mind. And, we kind of don't see... I would enjoy it as well. We kind of don't see that yet. But good for her. Good for her. Good for everybody involved. And then, obviously, the fallout from this. Becky Lynch is a fucking star yet again. The way she kicked off Raw, amazing.
It's going in a crowd. You think those plants are real people?
Those are real people, because when she was talking to the guy, he actually he saved the video and he put it on
Ah,
Twitter
cool.
of her
Cool.
of her talking to him about stuff and about the shirts and everything. I love Becky's new shirt. I don't know why, but I love all the colors.
That's
But
cool.
Becky's a star. In the press conference, Becky was asked, "How do you feel about your first match back being War Games?" She's like, "Well, to be honest with you, my ass hurts, but otherwise, I'm fine."
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good to see the man back. I mean, her heel run had some hot and cold points for me. I didn't like her. Whoa,
Oh,
whoa,
big time!
whoa, whoa,
Big
whoa.
time Bex is something that's going to be more appreciated, I think, as years go by.
That's fair. You know, I respect her for wanting to tweak her character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, character tweaks have been a big theme around here lately.
Yeah,
But the man still had some juice in it, and it still does. And then do the tweak.
yeah. No, her I think her promo work was really good as big time Bex too as well. But her going through the crowd and literally just talking to people, which is
Yeah.
something you never like. That's something you see when the cameras go off.
Yeah.
Like Austin
House
would
shows.
talk to the
Yep.
crowd, Cena would talk to the crowd, but you never see that on TV, which I thought was awesome. And then them fighting, and now the feud moving forward is something another thing from the Four Horsewomen that we have not seen.
Becky Bailey.
Becky Bailey, which bring it on. They're both at great levels in their characters. It's gonna be
It's a
great.
shame Bailey needs to eat another loss.
But I like her losing because it fuels her being more of a heel bitch, and if that fuels her screaming at Michael Cole more, I'm all for it.
She needs heat though. She needs some heat.
I was saying you can't take out Becky because she just got back, so you can't do that. You got to do something. I don't know. Who knows? But it also the interesting thing coming out of that press conference as well. I'm gonna go reverting back to the pressure a couple more times because there was a lot of great information.
Go for it. If there's meat on the bone, chomp
No,
at
there
it.
was a lot of great information that was released because they let them shoot for the most part during the presser, which I thought was really cool. So apparently Becky was supposed to go home for like her brother's 50th birthday or something when she got the call to do War Games.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. And she was like, all right, I'll do War Games. And then Triple H said like 3 days later, she's like, oh yeah, can I just jump off the top of the cage? Okay. Yeah.
I'll do one better. It's the finish.
So cool shit like that happens. Like I said, there's a lot of good stuff that was revealed by Triple H and company, and that I know we talked about the presser a lot being there was a lot of journalists. So Byron Saxon hosted the presser, number one, which is
Makes sense.
interesting.
Fair.
Byron hosted the presser. They had news outlets that sent in questions beforehand. Like if they couldn't send people to Boston, they sent stuff to WWE beforehand to have the people answer.
I think a lot of press conferences just in general are like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I've learned working in media. A lot of the questions are like, especially in news.
Yeah.
A lot of the questions are known ahead of time.
Yeah.
Which pisses me off, but it is what it is.
But then they also had Bleacher Report was there. A couple of local Boston news affiliates were there.
Issa was
The
there.
Marks were there too.
Yeah, you told me Issa and
Chris the Bee from Those Wrestling Girls was also there.
Yeah.
They were allowed to ask questions. So it was some Mark Media. I'll call them Mark Media.
They vetted the marks. That's good though.
Well, they vetted Marks that we've also vetted as well. So that gives us a little bit more credibility too.
I mean, Scoop Satin wasn't
Satin
there.
was not there. No, not that I saw. But it was nice to see that from a personal standpoint. It's nice to see that people that we've known and try to help support and bring up from the years that we have been doing this, and personally know, like we personally know Issa, we've hung out with Issa, we've chilled with Issa, to finally see somebody like Issa and also Those Wrestling Girls get their due as credible and knowledgeable fans of wrestling that now work the media, and them getting a chance to kind of live out something that I would love. Like I would love to sit in the presser and just ask Triple H questions. You know what I mean?
Cool. I did see that Issa asked Triple H if they're gonna do a show in Latin America.
Well, she didn't.
Or South America.
She did not say Puerto Rico or Latin America. She said, "Where else do you want to where are you going to expand?" Triple was like, "Yeah, we're going to go fucking everywhere that we can." It's like if you,
Dude,
he was like, if you have an interest,
they're gonna go to Mexico.
Well, no, Triple H specifically said, "Be on the lookout for Puerto Rico." He said that he blatantly said that at the end of his answer to Issa.
That'd be
So
cool.
they are.
I wonder if Triple H knows Issa. It's like, I know she's Puerto Rican. I can tell.
He kind of said like he kind of said like a tongue in cheek, like he might have already known. But like, so think about this: they're gonna like if they do a Puerto Rico show, which will be nuts. It's gonna be a Puerto Rico show featuring Bad Bunny. You know it's gonna happen.
Yeah, hey man, Issa is a beautiful woman. Have Issa walk Bad Bunny down to the ring. She would lose her shit. Like have Issa be one of like Bad Bunny's, like she's part of the entrance. There's a bunch of Puerto Rican women and Issa's just front and center. Oh my god!
Issa's like fighting off all the other women.
I mean, Issa. I know. Issa loves Puerto Rico, but she loves Bad Bunny way more. Her, like, she's probably the top 0.1% of people who listen to Bad Bunny in her Spotify Wrapped.
Absolutely. So shout out to Issa. Shout out to Chris B of those wrestling girls.
Shout out to Issa.
And also shout out to those wrestling girls. Like I said, it's good to see, some of our people who I consider like common people who are just fans starting to progress and make waves and have an influence on the product, which is awesome. And it was also a good moment in the Triple H press conference spot that Issa, I think, put on her TikTok. It was on her TikTok, I remember as well. So Byron was about to cut off the presser early. And Triple H is like, well, number one, I'm in charge. And number two, I've noticed, Byron, that you've allowed all these men to get questions asked while this woman here, which he pointed to Issa in front, has had her hand up the whole time. So she's going to get the last question.
Oh.
He called out Byron's bias in front of him.
What an asshole, Byron.
So that's how Issa got her question. Issa was the final question of the presser, which is pretty wild. So thank you, Triple H, for that and giving Issa that moment, because she's still probably losing her mind from it.
Yeah, shout out to Issa.
Yeah, that's crazy. So as we move along, Will, I'm just going to leave this here. Do you wanna talk about that?
Yeah, man, talk about the fastest man ever from coming out of a burial. I didn't see this coming. First, let me state, I am so happy that he won this title. And don't get it twisted. I have always been a giant Austin Theory fan. I still think his Evolve run is the best run he's ever had, but this is gonna eclipse it. And at this rate, it's gonna eclipse it by tomorrow. So, yeah, this match was outstanding. If the main event wasn't so good, this would have been match of the night for me. This had Seth's fingerprints all over it. Great finish. And yeah, shout out to Austin Theory, man. Well deserved.
You know what it is with this as well, with Austin Theory?
Not buried anymore. That's a damn sure.
Number one, this is when I see Theory now in the last 3 or so weeks, I see Evolve Theory.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, this is the Evolve Theory that got heat every time he opened his fucking mouth because we just hated him that much. And he knew it and he fed off of it. And what's different about the Austin Theory that we've seen in NXT and during pandemic times when he was with Seth, as well as that he has more of his own voice. He's not trying to be this kind of snobby character that was created for him. He is being more of his natural heel self that he grew on the indies and especially in Evolve, that people gravitated towards.
I see Randy Orton.
Okay.
With this version of Theory,
Okay.
It has a very, very high Randy Orton, like 2008 vibes.
Mm-hmm. And it's like you said, it's a brilliant finish. I did not see the finish coming. No one did. As you can see when they panned around the entire crowd.
Yeah.
No one saw that coming.
I laughed so hard when I watched it. Because K Murphy did spoil it for me, but shout out to K Murphy. But when I saw the finish, I laughed. I laughed and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. Because the whole crowd was like, what the fuck? And I was like, I love it. Also, Bobby Lashley didn't really go for a spear. He kind of went for a roll-up.
Well, his spears are usually rolls anyways.
Are they?
Like he does a spear and a roll at the same time, so he's not landing flat. He kind of uses momentum.
Gotcha.
But here's an interesting thing. This is back from the pressure. So Triple H addresses the Austin Theory thing.
Okay.
So, which, this is how I know Triple H listens to everything. So Triple H on Austin Theory in particular during the press conference. Unfortunately for Theory, his career was dead 2 weeks ago. Now it's resurrected. I guess next week he'll be walking on water.
That's funny. That's pretty great.
Oh,
MJF just unveiled a new custom AEW title with a
Burberry's
Burberry scarf-like strap. Ew.
Triple B Burberry belt looks cool. Fred's put in Discord a
Yes,
photo of
please
it, please.
send a picture of it, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Someone at work today was wearing one of those Burberry scarves, like the exact one from MJF. I was like, huh, Plainview. I wanted to go up to him and be like, so you a fan of Maxwell Jacob Friedman?
Honestly, I used to have a Burberry scarf, but I do not have one anymore.
It looks super comfy.
It's a scarf. Scarves are not comfy. The scarves are just scarves. To me, at least. You know,
I don't like scarves.
there's nothing special really about it. Let's move on from this to the New Japan match of the night, which is literally a New Japan match. Especially, here's how I know it was a New Japan match. Did you see their bodies afterwards?
I was gonna say, did you see the scarring?
Yeah, when I was on my party with Charles, I was like, oh, I was like, oh, they were hitting each other.
Yeah, they went for it.
Yeah, yeah.
They held nothing back.
This is like, all right. For me, if you wanted to show somebody what like a pure professional wrestling match was, I'd show them this match. You know, and what sold it for me is that they got the other outside shit out of the way early. Like the OC came in and took the Judgment Day out. You know what I mean? And they went to the back.
Went to the crowd.
Yeah, They went to the crowd. That got out of the way, and AJ and Finn were able to just have a pure professional wrestling match.
It was believable. It was very believable.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing with this, listen, there's nothing wrong with the match. The match was great.
No.
I understand how people say it's boring because, again, I think they had this. I had a high expectation. I had an AEW expectation.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get it. There's nothing wrong with the match. Match is art form. My problem with the match is come WrestleMania or come next year, I'm like, oh yeah, they had a match. I'm gonna forget about it. And that could be on me. It could just be a state of wrestling, but I'm gonna forget about this match.
There's also nothing. There's also nothing on the line for this match as well.
There's no stakes.
Yeah.
I think that's another point to it too. Like we remember AJ Cena. We remember AJ Kevin Owens Cena. Right. We remember Seth Finn Balor. We remember all these classic matches, things we've been for in person, things we haven't.
Yeah.
This one, I just know I'm gonna forget about it.
Yeah, there wasn't really anything on the line besides pride, which is fine. What I did enjoy about this match in particular was number one, the match in general, great finish. Number two, AJ Styles coming out in his Bullet Club like mask from New Japan.
Michael Cole also mentioned,
and that was my third thing. Michael Cole went through a really, really concise yet quick history of how the Bullet Club came to be.
Yeah.
Which I don't think has ever been done before in WWE TV.
They've never mentioned the words Bullet Club.
Yeah, and Michael Cole went pretty in depth about it at the beginning of the match, which is great. And that's what I
mean, you have to.
But that's what I loved about Michael Cole.
That's the story. Yeah.
He told you what this was. That's what essentially they were fighting for. But the fact that Michael Cole was able to do it so openly is something that we've never seen before. But also,
not only that,
go ahead.
You didn't need to tell Michael Cole that. He knew that.
You can tell he knew it too.
Like that line that wasn't fed to him. He wasn't smartened it beforehand. He just knows that.
Yeah. But
I actually do like that. Okay, shout out to Mr. Fretz. I actually do like the strap right here.
It's not bad. It looks kind of funky. I got to get a better photo of it.
It's like a worn leather. It's like shoe leather. It's a brown shoe leather.
Yeah, I got to see the whole thing.
Yeah, it's pretty. I like it.
Yeah. But also, with Cole talking about all of that, it helps to legitimize professional wrestling and sports entertainment as a whole industry.
Yeah, it's important to know that life exists outside of WWE in the world of wrestling.
And that these guys do stuff outside of WWE.
And that people care.
Yeah.
And like the wrestlers care. Mm-hmm. Like that one little line probably meant a lot to both AJ and Finn because it's their history as well.
Probably means a lot to New Japan too.
That as well. You want to keep that relationship open too.
You know, especially when NXT goes over to Japan, which is going to be in the very foreseeable future.
Yeah.
You know, you want to keep that relation open, but it's good. Like it's good for business all around because obviously we're getting into Wrestle Kingdom season, which is going to be at the end of December.
January? December.
December,
It's December into January.
yeah,
Correct.
beginning of January, end of December, like something like that. Which there are some good things on that card, which we'll talk about when it gets closer to that time. But it's good to hear them talk about these things so freely, because it's a part of wrestling history. Like AJ Styles, Finn Balor, Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, the Bucks aren't household names without the Bullet Club and the internet, you know. But they had to start somewhere, and they started getting their fame once they all joined the Bullet Club.
Yeah. Yeah, Generation Me wasn't shit before the Bullet Club.
Yeah, exactly. They weren't. They weren't. Kenny Omega was nobody. You know, they joined the Bullet Club. They went to New Japan. They were tearing it up. The internet helped spread the word. You know, to casual.
Hot Topic also helped spread
Hot
the word.
Topic as well.
Selling the merch.
It does look like emo merch. Yeah.
Yeah, every Hot Topic and Spencer's across the country.
But yeah. So it's very important that we know the history of where these guys came from outside of WWE. Like AJ Styles was still AJ Styles, as you had his whole Impact run and stuff as well. However, you know, imagine if Michael Cole was able to tell all of those stories when AJ first came. You didn't need to because AJ Styles was just so big
Yeah.
at the time.
People knew him anyway.
Yeah. But to add that little emphasis, it just makes everything that much better.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool things with stuff like for people like us.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So shout out to that. So let's move on to. Yep, we're going to talk about it.
Womp, womp, womp.
We're talking about the SmackDown Women's Championship match, Shotzi and Ronda, which I want to start out with a positive here a little bit.
It was quick.
It was quick. That's not the positive I wanted to bring up. Positive here is that if you look at this, if you take the botches out of it and you see what they were trying to go for, it looks like they were trying to tell a pretty interesting story. With everything involved and the way that the match was constructed, it looked like they wanted to put something together. It wasn't too complex, but would have given a lot. It had a lot of good high spots and a lot of good storytelling to help push. MJF just jumped Regal. Ooh, that's different. To help push kind of the narrative along, and this is something that's going to continue. They'll have probably lead to maybe even a Royal Rumble match. The only problem is that everybody got taken out of it as soon as Ronda forgot how to take a DDT on the apron.
Yeah.
That just hurt the match. I was like, Ronda, how did you fuck up an apron DDT?
Dude, I don't know what it is, but Ronda Rousey has lost all of her star power. It's gone.
Which is so weird because like when she I want to say like when she's in resting holds and she's pandering to the crowd, and like she does a lot of those little counter,
Just talking.
those counter UFC stuff. Like, okay, this is a good character that we can work this off of. But it's like the other core wrestling spots, like that apron DDT should have been a great flawless spot in the match and helped to give Shotzi some hope. And then, you know, Shayna comes in and helps out Ronda, blah, blah, and Ronda still wins. But the fact that Ronda it seemed like she wasn't ready to take the spot, which is crazy to think. Because if you look at it, she holds on to the rope at the last second. Her legs don't fall. You're like, your legs are supposed to fall out.
Yeah.
You know, and flatten. And like, instead, her knees buckle in, and it just, like, it looks bad. Real bad. I don't know what that talking was backstage. Like, they didn't have even Ronda or Shotzi do a presser either. It was a very controlled press conference of people that they brought out. But it just looked bad, and it's disheartening. So for me,
yeah, she's just not a draw for me.
You know what it is? I was watching this. I forgot I was watching. It might have been a clip or something. Talking about Ronda. Oh, I was watching This Is Awesome, and they were talking about best debuts.
Yeah,
and they brought up the Ronda debut, which is an awesome debut. By the way,
great debut.
Minus whatever Dave was pissed about at the time. Remember? We had that whole argument.
No, stole
Asuka's moment.
the Oscar spotlight.
I was like, no, but okay.
Well, I mean,
You know.
No, no, because she was in the ring with her. Oscar wasn't left laying. Like,
Yeah. It was that, and Charlotte said it, I think, on the doc or on the series, saying that Ronda's an attraction, which is good. Ronda is an attraction. I like she is that category of sports entertainer, and she's an attraction like Roman Reigns and Brock and Cena are now attraction level superstars, and that's what you should.
is she overexposed? Is that it?
Well,
Is she on TV too
well,
much?
here's what I'm getting to. She's an attraction, which is good, and that's great and stuff. However, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, The Rock are all attraction, and John Cena, but they also had a foundation of knowing how to actually wrestle for a considerable amount of time. Like they built up to being an attraction.
Right.
You know, where Ronda came in as an attraction with minimal wrestling experience, had a Hall of Fame first year.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame.
Great rookie year.
Yeah, Hall of Fame rookie year. Like where it wasn't just her being on shows. She was doing the live events. She was touring with everybody, which is what you're supposed to do. You're learning the business and everything like that. The issue is that in a lot of sports, you can have a great rookie year, but that sophomore season, there's a reason it's called a sophomore slump. Ronda didn't have that sophomore slump. She left to go have a baby, and now she's back, and this is essentially her sophomore run. And now she's being exposed.
Yeah, she's very exposed.
You know, and it's one of those.
It's a great point.
Yeah, she wasn't like you can do it for a year and be good at it, but like AJ Styles, Cena, Rock, these guys were doing it for years.
It's like when she took the time off, she took all that time off. Like,
Yeah.
she was not training for wrestling. Like, she's probably still in shape and
Of
like
course, yeah, she's a
doing
world athlete.
jujitsu
Yeah,
and stuff. Like, she's an athlete,
Yeah.
right? And her husband's an athlete.
Yeah.
But she wasn't like in ring shape.
correct. You know, and her character work needed help, which I agree, her character work needed help a lot. But you got to have that in ring skill as well.
Yeah, dude, she forgot how to cut a promo.
You know,
I mean, she's kind of getting better at it.
she's getting better because Shayna's next to her.
Yeah, and give it time, I guess. I don't blame Shotzi for this. She was put in a no-win situation.
She was trying. She was trying.
She was trying. You know, she can be a little sloppy at times as well, but not her fault.
The apron DDT moment was not her fault at all.
Yeah.
She had
Oh, so you think those fans when they fell over the fans, those plants?
yeah those. Will, would you have kept your hands to yourself if you were on those in those chairs? Those are definitely plans.
I mean, if it was Shayna on top of me, I would have been like, ugh. But anyone else, I'm grabbing something.
Those are I had the same conversation with Charles when we were watching the show. I was like, those are definitely plans.
Yeah, it had to be plans.
Those are definitely plans.
They even sold too. They're like rolling on the floor, like, my hip. And there were 3 large men, so yeah, they were definitely plans.
It would have been really interesting if they weren't plans and that just became a part of a show. Like if you sit in these.
Yeah, if they just knew what to do instinctively.
Actually, that probably would have been us. We probably would have sold. Like,
Oh hell yeah, I would have sold. You kidding me? I would have sold right to the courtroom. Or at least backstage. I get to sit in gorilla, all right, for 30 seconds.
They were probably PC recruits, Mr. Fretch. You are absolutely correct.
Yeah, for sure.
But even then, that's still kind of wild. Like, hey, you want to be on the show? All right, cool. Send these seats. What? You'll know what to do.
You'll know when the time comes.
That's like, what was it? And remember we had Gargano and Ciampa, and somebody was like, "Johnny, take my sign," and had a.
It was a stop sign.
It was a stop sign. Yeah. That was definitely a plant.
Oh yeah, the fan. How's a fan gonna bring a stop sign through the metal detectors? What's that for? You'll know. You'll get it. Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. I'm a fan.
Or you know what would have been cooler? Because I don't know. It probably was a plant. I'd have to look back at the tape. But what if it like wasn't a plant per se? This is just me because we'll never know the story. What if like because sometimes you'll have like stage crew or someone go up to a fan and be like, hey, you want to be a part of a show? Blah blah blah. Sign these things. What do I have to do? Like when you
that's possible
when you select somebody out of a crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that would also be cool. So like you go to a show and then like someone's like, hey, I work for WWE. We're doing this spot. Do you want to help us out in the match or something? I'd be like, fuck yeah. What do I got to do?
Yeah, hold this.
hold this, blah blah blah. When you'll know, which would be pretty cool. That also would be really cool as well.
That baby with Montez Ford, that was planted.
That baby was not planted. I know that.
Who brings a baby to a wrestling event?
Also, yes.
Someone who can't get a sitter, I guess.
That baby's gonna be the most famous baby in the world if they ever grow up. But yeah, no. Back to this. There's a lot of people who are calling for Ronda to be fired. I don't think you fire Ronda because that would be
Fired?
stupid. Yeah.
No, what do you got, your fucking
Yeah, no,
mind? Fire her. Shut up.
You give Ronda more training. Ronda Ronda just needs to be more consistent and developing this new, more true to herself character.
Dude, she's still in the contract with all that money.
Yeah.
Fire her. Shut up.
Exactly.
Idiots.
Ronda has to do a little bit more of a live event touring and stuff and things like that just to develop the character. Like when I know there's a story that Miz talks about when he was learning how to cut promos on the microphone. He took every opportunity he could on live events to get maybe 5 minutes in front of a crowd, just to talk and figure out what he needs to do. And that's what Ronda just needs seasoning. She needs seasoning. She needs time in that ring to kind of catch her flow. And probably a year or so from now, she'll be fine. But at this point, it looks bad. It looks bad in her. And she's going to need a lot of work to get to where she needs to be, especially come WrestleMania season. Because they're not going to do a Los Angeles WrestleMania without Ronda Rousey in that ring in some way, shape, or form.
Oh yeah, duh, dude. Come on,
Yeah. So it's going to be a little bit of a quick turnaround. But overall, War Games, holy shit, what a premium live event.
Yeah, it's an 8.5.
Yeah, Boston crowd was great. The press conference I love. I want to see the press conference return for the Royal Rumble, WrestleManias, obviously, and SummerSlam. That's the only time I want to see press conferences.
Yeah, big four.
Yeah.
Maybe Money in the Bank.
Maybe Money in the Bank if they keep Money in the Bank as a concept. With Triple H.
Depending where they are for Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's these limited press conferences because their press conference only lasted maybe 40 or so minutes. And it's a press conference. If you do Money in the Bank press conference, I would only have the Money in the Bank winners.
Yeah. No Tony Khan.
No Tony Khan. No Tony Khan. There's also a good thing about the presser as well. So the first people there were Sami Zayn. Like Roman didn't do the presser. It was Sami and Paul Heyman, which is really cool.
Oh, God.
Well, here's the great thing. Paul Heyman didn't speak, really. He let Sami do a lot of the speaking. And Paul Heyman just would add emphasis to whatever Sami was saying if he needed to. Which is brilliant. And you learn a funny fact about Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn's first experience to wrestling was Survivor Series 97 in Montreal.
Really?
Yeah.
What an introduction.
Yeah. That's the first wrestling show he ever watched.
Most successful Survivor Series, the highest buy rate on pay-per-view, was 98.
Yeah.
Deadly Games.
Deadly Games. So.
Corporate Rock.
Oh, yes, correct. Deadly Games tournament.
Yeah, destroyed Mick Foley for the first time.
Yeah, that did happen. All right, so let's move on. Again, Survivor Series War Games, great. Let's move on to NXT real quick and to Will's favorite new match, Iron Survivor. Do you remember the rules of Iron Survivor? I bet you don't.
Kind of. There's a penalty box. Let me see if I get this right. 2 people start.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Every 5 minutes, a new person comes in, so it's 5 people. And it's the most pinfalls wins. If you get pinned, you go in the penalty box for 90 seconds.
How long is the match?
25 minutes.
I believe you are correct. Let's look at these official rules again. Wow, that's a picture of Gigi Dolan, which is great.
Always a big fan.
Yeah. Always a big fan. Let me look up these Iron Survivor rules real quick. By the way, the Iron Survivor panel. So they brought in Hall of Famers to do like essentially a selection show for all of the Iron Survivor people. So who was on? Do you know who was on this panel?
Derek Jeter.
No.
Don Mattingly. And Don Zimmer.
No, none of them. None of them at all. So you had X-Pac, obviously.
Road Dogg.
Road Dogg again.
DX minus Billy.
Yeah. DX minus Billy.
The ghost of China.
Alundra Blaze was also on there as well. Alundra Blaze, a.k.a. Medusa.
Cool.
And Molly Holly,
Good old Molly Holly.
which I love Molly Holly. I think she's all. I don't know why Molly Holly's not a coach for them because she could wrestle.
Maybe she doesn't want to.
That's true. Also, have you seen Dominic Dijakovic come back?
I have
You
not.
haven't seen Terminator Dominic?
No.
Terminator, or it's actually Dijak. He's going by. He's not going by Dijakovic. He's going by Dijak.
Oh, he's back to these guy's real name again. Awesome. Good for him.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the world of the living, sir. how's Reggie doing with his like Swifty gimmick?
We're not talking about that. I refuse.
That bad?
So bad. You never saw the
That
video?
bad? No, I didn't need to. I saw the picture you sent me.
No.
Has he been seen since?
I didn't want. I actually went to the movies last night, so I did not watch last night's NXT.
Oh, what'd you see?
We'll talk about it on the post show. I saw Glass Onion.
Was it Glass Onion? How was it?
We'll talk about it on the post show.
Okay, I heard it was cheeks and it was ass. I've also heard it's amazing, so I don't know who to believe.
So here we go. The Iron Survivor people in the men's match. You have Grayson Waller. You have Carmelo Hayes. You have crazy ass Joe Gacy. You have JD McCoy. Or formerly Jordan Devlin, but JD McCoy. And then you are going to have this wild card who no one knows yet for this.
It's gotta be Reggie.
Stop it.
That's gotta be Reggie.
Stop it. Stop it. I swear. He comes out with a fake Paul Bear and everything in flames come out.
Oh no!
Oh my god. That's hysterical.
Hell, it's Jeff Jarrett for real though.
God, I hate Jeff Jarrett. But
Tyler Bay would be cool.
Tyler Bay would be a good one. So you're pretty much right on the rules. 2 superstars start every 5 minutes. Someone else will enter. Most falls to a finish. If you lose, you go into the penalty box for 90 seconds.
Dude, if you take out the penalty box, I think it's a lot better.
But where would you hold them?
Just if you get pinned, you get pinned.
That just becomes like it almost becomes like a scramble then.
Yeah, the scramble was cool.
I did like the scramble.
The scramble, I think everyone started at once with the scramble.
Yeah.
So this one is intervals.
This is intervals, yeah.
The penalty box is it's too confusing. There's too many clocks.
That is also an issue. I don't know how they're going to do that. That is very true. I still don't know, and I don't know if they ironed it out, no pun intended. I still don't know when the 25 minutes starts. Like, if they do it War Game style where the 25 minutes don't start until, that person, till the last person.
Dude, that'd be such a long, that's an hour match, dude. That's so long.
That is very true.
It's gotta start after the first 2 come in. 'Cause it's 2, then it's 3 more. That's 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Right, so you got 10 minutes with all 5 of them in there.
True. It's gonna be rough. So deadline's gonna happen. JD McDonough, my fault, is Jordan Devlin's real name. JD McDonough, who's doing great character work as a fucking psychotic heel next to Joe Gacy. And so in the women's match also as well, again, there is another wild card spot, which we don't know who the wild card is going to be. But in the women's match, we have Zoe Stark, who finally came back from her knee injury, Cora Jade, who's actually dating Braun Breaker in real life, Roxanne Perez, everybody's favorite little munchkin, and Kiana James, who I'm very surprised is going to be in this match as well, because I feel like she's a little bit green and also a wild card, although Kiana James does have a great look to her. I will tell you about it. Like, we'll look up Kiana James and tell me what you think. Kiana and then James.
How you spell James?
Really?
I'm just kidding.
I was about to say. Yeah, so this is also... I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I'm going to tune in because this is next week.
Oh, she's married. Who cares?
Okay, hold on. As a see, blah, blah, blah.
Damn, she's muscular.
She's fit. Okay, so
she is fit. Oh, she's cute.
That's
She looks like a girl. She looks like a girl from Hofstra.
really. She does look like a hostel girl. All right, so the wild cards are going to be determined in triple threat matches next week. So it's not going to be a true wild card, and Tyler Bate isn't one of them. So the men's wild card slot is going to be against Von Wagner versus Axiom, who you obviously don't know. It's a masked person, and then Andre Chase of Chase U, which is still my favorite thing in the world. And then the women's wild card slot is going to be between Wendy Chu, Fallon Henley, and Indy Hartwell, which will be very, very interesting to see.
What about Nikita Lyons? Where's my girl?
I'm surprised Nikita Lyons isn't in this, to be honest with you.
I mean, she's just all over Instagram. That's for sure.
I still think Xia Li has the better Instagram these days.
Xia Li also is all over Instagram.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, look at my ass in the gym. You're like, okay.
She's scary fit, though. Like, I would not want to fight her.
Yeah, not at all.
Not gonna lie. But yeah, also, didn't you say Mandy Rose just broke 400 days as champion?
400 days as champion. I saw that today on Facebook.
That's pretty wild. I do know.
I always forget she's in the company.
Because you don't watch NXT, that's why. She's doing good stuff with Toxic Attraction. I'm interested to see when they bring her back to Raw and or SmackDown. Because to be honest with you, I think she's done a lot of what she could do in NXT.
Yeah, she learned how to work.
She learned how to work. She learned how to work at crowds. She's better at promos. And I want her to...
Nikita Lyons is so fucking curvy.
She is. I want her to bring that NXT... I want her to bring that persona back up to Raw or SmackDown. I probably would say SmackDown. And I think I would love to see all of Toxic Attraction on SmackDown as well. Because I agree. I think you have enough for Raw.
Yeah, SmackDown needs help.
Yeah, I think you need to bring some heat on SmackDown. Which I think would be good for them. But also, the more women you do, the more they need that secondary title, or at least a title that's defended on TV. You know, so for instance, like if you want to keep like your world titles being defended specifically on premium live events and have like a secondary title equivalent to like a U.S. or an intercontinental title, and just have them defended on TV, like a women's television championship or something like that, I think that would work for them. But the WWE still has this issue, I believe, Will, where it's their women's roster is starting to grow at a very rapid pace, and there's only minimal things to fight for, and the tag team championships aren't doing it.
Is this NXT or WWE?
WWE.
Yeah, like you have this Becky Bayley feud, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, who cares?
You know, it works because it's Becky and Bayley, and they're already names.
Right, but who's Bianca going up against?
That's the issue.
That's an issue.
Well,
who's Ronda going to go up against?
Who knows? I know Bianca.
Who are the tag titles going to go up against?
Their tag titles. Oh, Bianca came out in the presser officially and did say she wants to beat all the 4 horsewomen, and the only one left she has to beat is Charlotte.
Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte's coming back.
So she actually said she wants to face Rhea and or Charlotte at Mania.
No, Charlotte's the match.
No, I know Charlotte's. I think Rhea's Rumble. Charlotte is Mania.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Rhea versus Ronda.
I like that.
I mean, they're both heels though. That wouldn't work.
Yeah, Ronda can't play. I don't think Ronda.
It's Becky Ronda. Duh.
Yeah, because they never got their one-on-one.
Dude, here's the thing though. Will people care?
For Becky Ronda?
Yeah.
Yes, because Becky will make them care. I trust Becky to tell the story.
I do as well, but she's going to completely overshadow Ronda.
I think that's the idea.
Like, if she exposes Ronda even more, you're looking at middle of the card.
You mean expose her like in the ring?
Like, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
In all aspects.
That is the Ronda dilemma, where how do you...
Yeah, Becky will make us care about her.
Yeah.
But can we make her care about Ronda?
That is an issue. How is Ronda going to make us care?
She can bury the fuck out of Ronda, that's for damn sure.
Ronnie. I wanted to say Ronnie like all the time, because I know I got under Ronda's skin. I don't know. That's where Ronda needs to, like I said, Ronda needs to start putting in a lot more work so that she doesn't have a match like that at War Games happen again. Because next time she's going to have a match, it's going to be at a premium live event. It's going to be at the Royal Rumble.
That's next PLE.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's like that's not going to be a forgiving crowd.
Yeah, that's what. That's
You know.
that's 2 months from now. It's like 8 weeks.
Yeah, yeah. So like she's got to pick it up and pick it up quick, because that performance was not what you'd expect out of a champion
Yeah, it was
and
bad.
out of an attraction.
It was bad.
You know, she's just got to get more comfortable in the ring again. That's really what it is. Um, but I still think they the more women you start to bring up the roster, which is great. I'm all for it. I also love Sarah Logan as the valet, being Valhalla now is her name.
That's cool.
She is Valhalla. But like, do you need something for these women on TV to fight for outside? Because like, their names aren't big enough yet to attract the general populace.
Yeah, Shotzi's getting there.
Shotzi's getting there because they started investing more in Shotzi. Like when Vince was around, they took away her tank and all of that
Yeah.
stuff. She has to
Give her. They took her last name. Give her a year.
no. She's got like she's creating her image, and I think that's why Triple H went with her for right now because he wants to start to build her.
And the talent's there on exactly. The talent's there on SmackDown. You got Shotzi,
Yeah.
great talent. You got Lacey Evans, phenomenal character. You got Xia Li, who's a sexy and a badass and Chinese and different.
Yeah.
Right? Checks a box.
She's the first ever Chinese signee, I believe.
Yeah. What else you got in that women's division?
Zelina.
Oh, you got Zelina, who's a great valet. You got Raquel,
Yeah.
who's been not looking good.
Not great lately, but she's there's still something to build there.
It's talk about big fish in a small pond with NXT.
She
has-
was the one that got held back because remember they brought up Rhea and everybody else, and she was
Yeah.
which is a total Triple H thing to do. There's always one person they held, but
They had to hold it.
They
back.
had to, or else they wouldn't have a
and it was
division.
the right thing to do because it was like, hey Raquel, this is your division.
Yeah,
And then they changed to NXT 2.0, took the belt off her, and she faded away.
She's-
And they called her up out of nowhere.
she's got to reestablish herself, which I think she can. She has a great. She's one of the more unique. She's one of the more unique. She has a unique presence.
Yeah, she's big.
She's big. She's huge. She's powerful, and she's just got to play at what she did on NXT on a more consistent basis.
She's
The problem
but
is they made her.
Did she have a face run in NXT? I don't remember.
It was a face run, but it was on the face.
Brief?
It was a face run, but it was under the premise of I'm a badass.
Yeah, she's like smiley wavy.
She's smiley. She's the Rock. She's survive like.
Yeah. Hey, let's go out there and be Apollo Crews, all right?
Yeah, no, she's the Rock when the Rock first got there. Is that like she's happy to be there? She's smiling. She's cool on this happening babyface, which is totally a Vince move. And
Yeah.
she's getting rejected. I need the Raquel that was like throwing people through walls. Remember when she threw somebody through a wall?
I do now. Now you mention it.
Yeah.
Didn't she like lock Dakota Kai in a locker?
Yeah. 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 That's the Raquel we need. She would still be a face, but like I need like Big Mommy Cool was what we were calling her in NXT Raquel.
Yeah, that's right. We were calling her Big Mommy Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And she was just cool ass giant, it's Hispanic woman that just kicking people's ass. And she had the Chincona bomb. Like her finisher's fantastic. I love her finisher.
Yeah, powerbomb.
Yeah, a one-arm power bomb.
Yeah.
It's
Great finish.
It's a great finish. It just there's nothing behind it yet.
Yeah.
Which is funny because actually her and Ronda had a good match that one-off that they had.
Yeah, and she like broke her elbow or whatever.
Something
for
like
storyline.
that. Yeah.
Out 4 to 6
Yeah.
weeks.
So the
Which hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
We established her character.
The
Make
character,
some video packages.
the characters are there in the women's division in SmackDown. They are. They're there. It's very obvious they're there.
I mean, it's very easy to have Raquel bounce back. She comes back at the Rumble and just dominates.
She's
10
one of those
eliminations.
people that she becomes she's the one that clears house.
Exactly.
She becomes the person that clears house.
A good performance at the Rumble will put it back on the map.
Absolutely. So the
Her
characters
and, her and we have a stare down. Yeah, right itself.
the characters are there in the SmackDown Women's division. You just have to develop those characters and need to get more ring
TV
TV
time.
time. Yeah.
Give you time. Give them time.
It's that simple. But like there's a good nucleus there of young talent that they can run with for a very, very long time. So I'm interested to see what they do. I know Lacey Evans hasn't been on TV. I think she might have been re-injured. But I know she was start to come. There's no one wearing a bikini, dude. But I think I think when she does come back, I think should be a great addition to that SmackDown women's locker room. Just because Lacey Evans should never be a babyface. Lacey Evans is a heel, fantastic.
She should also wear a bikini. This guy's.
If you've seen Lacey Evans' Instagram, she's fantastic.
I think the question is, why isn't she wearing a bikini?
Very true. Lacey Evans, someone I would never want to fight as well. She's
a Marine.
She scares me. Yeah, yeah. She's a very efficient with the handgun and other guns as well. But
terrifying.
Yeah, but that's pretty much all we have this week.
Yeah, it's a good hour show. We always manage to fill an hour.
Hour 20.
We at hour 20.
Yeah, we did about an hour 20. We did a good job. So
as we do.
Oh, Jade is
good job, Kay.
Thank you, Kay. Yeah, thank you so much, Kimber. Kay, I have anything to say? Thanks, Kay. Love you very much, Kay.
Nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it. As always, Kay, thank you very much. So yeah, let's get the show on the road. Waiting for that audio. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to Kings of the Rings podcast, episode number 318, Armistice. I am your host, King Ricky Rose. You can find me in Ambassador Biggs across all media outlets, BIGZ, Ambassador Biggs. Find our show here, Kings of the Rings podcast, at KOTR_podcast on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, all over social media, at, again, KOTR_podcast. Like, share, subscribe. Please leave us some reviews. Hit that thumbs up button if you may. The links to all of our stuff are in the description below, including a link to our merchandise website, which I will reveal to you for the first time today for the entire holiday season, all the way through the first 7 days of January. Everything on our merchandise store is on sale for up to 25% off using the code HOLIDAY. So please click on our merchandise store, buy yourself some great merch for you and your friends this holiday season. If you're listening to our audio, make sure you're subscribing to Wrestle Addict Radio, the cure for the common wrestling podcast, where you'll get our show as well as the Brace for Impact Wrestling Podcast, the WrestleMania Podcast, and the Young Lions Perspective Podcast. Follow Wrestle Addict Radio socials at Addict_Wrestle on Twitter and Wrestle Addict Radio everywhere else on social media. Again, the links to all of that are in the description below. Will Tarashok, what do you got for me?
Oh, man, I'm so glad I don't owe $200,000 of child support a month. Kanye West owes $200,000 to his more rich and famous wife in child support. What kind of fucking country do we live in?
I have some information about how they calculate child support. It's very fucked up.
Oh, let's do it. Let's get into that in the post show. I'm a fan of Kanye's music, but about that's where it stops. But $200,000, man? What a fucking country we live in. But I'm Will Tarashuk, T as in Thomas, ARASHUK. You can find me arguing with people on TikTok at Talking with Tarashuk, talking about the economy and stuff. I've been on a rampage. Oh. So, yeah, go check that shit out.
Very, very interesting.
Big pharma price gouging fuckers. Ricky, yeah. Don't even get me started.
I'm trying not to. When we come back next week, hopefully Kay will have their internet fixed. Hopefully there'll be more things to talk about. Austin Theory will hopefully still have the title and everything else going on in the world of wrestling. And MJF may debut a new belt, so on and so forth. Oh, yeah, NXT Deadline is next week, so we'll talk a little bit about what's going to go on that show as well. So until next week, folks, goodbye, good night. Enjoy the beginning of the last month of 2022. And what's that one? Oh, yeah, fuck you, Slack. See you next week.